Morning, everyone. How are we all today? Friday, last one of the week. That always puts a smile on my geggy because at the weekend I like to indulge my other passions, which is generally videos about motor vehicles. I just abandoned politics for a wee bit until Sunday, and then I start catching up again. Right, remember, folks, Reagan a Week goes live in 30 minutes, and today's Friday. So on Daily Blaze's channel, 5 o'clock at night, the Friday Frolics. Absolute great fun. Rips the piss out of American and UK politics. So don't forget the Friday Frolics. Right, let's have a quick look and see who's in. Mel's in. Robert the Bruce is in. Desiree is in, where she says it's sunny in the Northern Highlands. Spanner Mac's in. Jade Armstrong's in. Margaret Hitchens in. Stephen Bankier's in. Alan Arnott's in. Kirsty Hamilton. Ted Boy. Morning, Ted Boy. Graham Beanie. Stephen Nichol. June Dalrymple. Charles Campbell. I see Neil's in. Aye, he's sharing the video already. Alex Adams in. Happy birthday, Tina. Happy birthday, Tina. Tell you I'd say it Friday. Probably get rang bloody Friday, right enough. But hey, Jordy Beattie. Kirsty Hamilton. Margaret Mackay's in. Gary Sandman. Spanner Mac. Diane Knox. Gillian. Maria. Lorna Shields is in. Okay, if I've missed you, I'm sorry, but there's 120 years there. Take a while to get through it, and we've got to get on. Don't want to infringe on Reagan Elite's time. So, Indy Tuck Davy out the truck and at home in his office on the 13th of the 2nd, 2026, where it is currently 2 degrees. Today's high will be 5, apparently. Tonight's low will be -2. There is still a snow warning on up until 12 o'clock this afternoon, or noon. But at this point in time, it's a lovely, clear, sunny morning, although there is a light dusting of snow as it snowed overnight. Fortunately, it didn't come to much. Still had to get out of my bed at 6 this morning in case the taxi didn't show up for Sarah, but hey-ho. You hear me getting up early. Right. The wind, humidity is at 75%, wind speed 8 to 26 miles per hour. Sunset today will be at 17:15, and the pollen count doesn't count 0, still in the winter. So that's what the weather's like here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look out your own bloody window. All right. First up this morning, we've got the Daily Fail. So let's get the fail up and see what nonsense it's got for us this morning. And the Daily Fail has: new council insurers introduce voice software to screen calls from motorists. Claim for pothole damage, take a lie detector test. Now, apparently the software, which has been installed in Dumfries and Galloway Council on the pothole hotline for people claiming for damage to their cars because of the poor road conditions. Well, apparently the AI that they speak to is also designed to decide whether they're telling the truth or no. Very good. So apparently if you phone up Dumfries and Galloway to report damage to your car because of a pothole, you'll be taking a lie detector test. And one at the top there, a blood-chilling warning about AI from an expert who quit his top tech job to urge humanity to wake up. I have to agree with the boffin. Because if humanity doesn't wake up, then it'll be an AI doctor, an AI lawyer, an AI teacher. What are people going to do with their time? What are people going to do with their time? Thank you, Stephen. You did it for happy birthday. Right. I'm no Maximilian Robespierre. I'm no singing happy birthday. Ain't gonna happen. That's his programme, no mine. I'll just say happy birthday if you don't mind. All right. Right. After the fail, we have the rancid, and we don't put the rancid up. And it has murders and rapists at large. Thousands of criminals on the run from police. More than 7,000 crime suspects missing. Campaigners warn of danger to public. Now, folks, what this is about is 7,000. In fact, I'll put it up. I've got it there somewhere, I think. Yep. I'll put this up and give you the numbers. These are unserved warrants, folks. So the numbers are as follows. As of late November 2025, there were 7,328 active arrest warrants which were still to be served or couldn't be served because they couldn't find the individuals. And that's for individuals being hunted by Police Scotland. According to figures reported in February 2026, the high number of outstanding warrants, often for failing to appear in court. 306 suspects for sexual offences have failed to appear, including 43 for rape. 6 murder suspects can't be found. 1,309 warrants for common assault have not been served. 946 for theft have not been served. And apparently there's 20 people missing off the sex offenders register. But they're not on the run. They're not all on the run. The most serious of the criminals there will be on the run. A fair chunk of them will be warrants that the police have yet to serve and haven't get round to serving. But, I mean, there is a few concerning stats there. And as the 300, there is the fact that 20 people who are actually actively on the sex offenders register have disappeared is of concern. The fact that they can't find 6 murder suspects, well, don't find that unusual. And the fact that they haven't been able to serve 309 warrants to people suspected of sex crimes in Scotland, I don't think that'd be that unusual either. People will go move around these islands to avoid crimes, avoid being prosecuted for crimes. So, 7,000 outstanding warrants, or 7,000 warrants which have yet to be served, sounds like a lot until you realise the population is 5.4 million. So that's the truth behind it. There are 7,300 warrants which have yet to be served. Some of them will be on the run. The rest of them, plods probably just no get round to serving the warrants yet. Right, after the rancid, we have a Scotsman. So we'll put it up. I'll shut the stats down on the amount of warrants. As you know, folks, when that sort of nonsense comes along, I like to check it myself. Reverse ban on new oil and gas, says Blair think tank. Blair can go and buy all his effing heat. You got it right this time. It's Tina's birthday. Stephen, I thought you were wanting me to sing happy birthday, man. Wow. Anyway, apparently Tony Blair thinks we should drill baby drill. The war criminal can fuck off. Why anybody thinks this guy's of any relevance anywhere, I don't know. Why he's still being quoted in public life, I don't know. Why he isn't in The Hague, I don't know. But he bloody well should be. But another short-termist looking at your UK finances, no worried about the grandchildren and where they're going to fucking live. what planet they're going to try and survive on. But Blair doesn't deserve to be heard. He's a war criminal. He's got blood in his hands. Next up, we'll get the Herald. What's the Herald got for us this morning? Scotland cut out of 15 billion EU funding for energy. That's the joys of Brexit. Simple as that. We got what our neighbour next door fucking voted for. The usual. Votes in Scotland, England, and Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland do not count. They don't count. That's what we call the democratic deficit. The mere fact that no matter how the people of Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland vote, we get what fucking England votes for. And at this point in time, that lot doing that road are after fucking chumps. They should be hanging the press barns and politicians for lamp posts. For the state they've got themselves into. Right, after the Herald, we've got the Scum, and we don't put the Scum up either. So I'll tell you what it says. The Scum has exclusive mural charges. Chief Blue Nats cash on motors and luxury goods. Next hobbies, 460k SNP fraud spree. Very brave of the Sun when there's a contempt of court order on. But David and I said yesterday, we've seen the books. Where they get this 460k fee, I don't know. But Peter was the chief executive. He did get paid. He got paid really well, actually. But 460k didn't he show up in the books with these undeclared donations which he stuck in his pocket? We're about to find out. Right, next up we've got the Looney Raggery Express. We'll get it up. What's the Express go for us? SNP are being slammed for a cross-party law change in 2022, obliging councils to find shelter for homeless people. Right, and what's it got? SNP slammed for open door migrant policy. How fucking thick does this paper think the people of Scotland are? Immigration is fucking reserved. It was a cross-party change to the law in 2022 to oblige councils to find homeless people shelter. Came on the back of the pandemic when we managed to get them all off the streets. It made sense. The problem it's creating now, though, here in Scotland, is the government has actually started processing asylum seekers. And once they receive the right to stay, the accommodation they're in is taken away from them. They're basically booted out in the street. That leaves councils around Scotland, who are being allocated to most of these people at this point in time, struggling to find accommodation for them. But the fact that at the back of the pandemic, the legislation was changed to keep the homeless off the streets because they'd been cleared off the streets during COVID, was the right thing to do. The mere fact that the problem is coming from the fact that the Home Office is actually doing its fucking job now, unfortunately, there's a massive backlog. And these people are being thrown out of their asylum accommodation the minute they're given the right to stay. It's a fucking heartless system. Right, let's get this done and get the Guardian up. I think it's the Guardian next. Interesting, the same rag in England says England's streets are awash with drugs. What's the Guardian go for as a date? PM House top civil servant and shake-up of number 10 team. That'll get a wee bit more interesting as we go further in. But this is the story that Chris Warnold, who's the Cabinet Secretary, is leaving by mutual consent after 1 year in the job. But that gets more interesting as we go through the headlines further on. Right, done with that. And up with the Times, I think it is next. Aye, the Times. What's the Times go for as a day? Pupils able to change their gender at school. And this is guidance that's been issued in England for Education England only. Now, pupils are able to change their gender for the age of 4 in schools in England. Education devolved. Always has been here in Scotland. Actually, it's always been a separate system. And it's now a separate system in Wales. So apparently, Westminster has issued guidance to schools in England that children can pick their gender from the age of 4. So, Mary, the gender wars on the front pages. And football chief steps in after Ratcliffe kick-off on immigration. That's the news that the FA are looking at banning Ratcliffe for Manchester United's ground on the grounds of racism. Because like up here, England, the FA in England's been running the show Racism, the Red Card programme. Right, after the Times, we'll get the Tory graph. Let's get it up. The Tory graph tells us Rayner turns on Starmer over pubs, and it also says she's linked up with Andy Burnham. And the left is flexing its muscles. Rayner's a wee bit left of Starmer. She's still a centrist. Excuse me. And I don't mean left of centre, I mean banged in the fucking middle. A centrist. They wouldn't know the left if it bit them in the arse. None of them. For reasons I've stated before. When we did that wee series on political theories. June, I haven't seen the post either. I'm going to have a look for it. Next up we'll get the National. What's the National go for as a day? SNP strike budget deal with Lib Dems. They didn't need to. As it turns out, the Greens and Labour sat it out. The SNP would have enough votes on its own to get it through. But the idea is that parties work together in the Parliament. So the Lib Dems got a wee bit of what they wanted in the budget and they were happy to vote for it. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work. And of course, John's big announcement, Scotland rail fares frozen for 12 months, which is good news. In fact, the railway travel in Scotland is becoming really affordable with scrapping the peak rates we were talking about it yesterday and now freezing the prices for a year at current prices at a time of uncertainty in the middle of a cost of living crisis. An excellent thing to do. Right, next up, the I. This one's interesting. Cull at number 10 as Starmer tries to relaunch his leadership. Are we going to have another cabinet reshuffle to go with it as well? As he tries to lift his popularity. Hi, Alistair. Never seen you sneak in. Can you batter up a link for the Friday Frolics, please? Thank you. Morning, Ellie. Butterfly effect. So, current number 10 is Starmer tries to relaunch his leadership. And this is all about the cabinet secretary being leaving by mutual consent, apparently. But it looks like Starmer's trying to refresh his team and refresh his image. We'll see if it helps. I don't think so. I think he'll still be away after the May elections. I really do. I really do. Leadership more like a sinking ship, says Stephen. Absolutely. Just love a cabinet reshuffle. Take the boat and draw and stick it in the tap, and the tap draw and stick it in the boat. Never works. Right, next up we get a Metro and its own Ratcliffe. And it would appear that Big Jim's own goal, United owner, immigrants jibe. Big Jim's own goal, being colonised by immigrants. Wow, he's in trouble with the FA now. As I say, they're talking about banning him for his own stadium. Sometimes you need to know when to keep your mouth shut, Jim. And apparently Sikh and Muslim fans, who are a big section of fans of Man United, apparently they're boycotting the club. Big Jim's going to feel it in his wallet. It was an outrageous thing to say, especially for somebody that's fucked off for tax dodging reasons. Hasn't he paid any tax in the UK? So Ratcliffe will need to learn to keep his heat down and his gob shut. Because now he's been branded a vile racist. Well done, Ratcliffe. You rat. HMRC, go on your job and tax the bastard. Tax him. Tax people like him. There wouldn't be an immigration crisis. We would be building the infrastructure to accommodate fucking people. Right, the book's done, so that tells you there's only one headline left to go. And that's why I'm smiling, because it's the last one of the week. But the Star, it's a cracker. Absolute cracker. And it's on Ratcliffe and all. Ratcliffe, sorry, but FA could bar him from ground. Ban United. They say he's in the ship with the FA. They've got an anti-racism campaign on the go. And his statement as a club owner didn't fit the fucking bill. In fact, he should have read the FA rules, because then he would have kept his mouth shut. And it's interesting, a man whose club has been importing immigrants for years complains about immigration. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't. Let's clear all the foreigners out of English football, shall we? And see where their clubs are on the world stage then. Wow. Really? Really? A team full of immigrants. His club brought them to these islands. And he's complaining about immigration. Thick as fucking mince. How he managed to make it be a billionaire, I've no idea. Oh, guy. I suppose he's worldly wise in other ways. At least I fucking hope he is. Because that's one of the thickest things he's done. He's done some really contemptible things. But that's probably the thickest thing he's done. Now, Tina, you have a smashing birthday and a lovely day, Tina. All right. Now, as I say, that's it for this week. Reagan a Week's up next. I'll probably be listening to him while I'm out and about. So I probably won't comment, but I will be there. And then, of course, 5 o'clock tonight, the Friday Frolics. Now, folks, I only get to see the first 30 minutes here, but I listen to the whole 2 hours because it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So, have a look. You'll enjoy it. And thanks very much for tuning in to such great numbers today. There's 160 years there. 158 and falling at the moment. And we'll see you on Monday at 10:30. Don't be late, or you'll be on the, what's that say, naughty step. Bye for now.